we're singing a cappella tonight. Page 13, Create in Me. And I'll sing it through once, and then join me. Create in me a new heart, O God. Create in me a new heart, O God. Create in me a new heart, O God. Create in me to read some things that other young folks that have visited us and spent a little time here have said about us. And the reason for reading these letters is because it's good for us to know what effect we have on people. And it's been very interesting. First one is from Margot. She writes, "A community of peace welcomed me and my good friend Luke for a week. I can't begin to describe the warmth and gentleness of this place and the people who are blessed to call it home. While here, I enjoyed the sung prayer and periods of silence, as well as exploring the paths on the property. I hope to return one day soon." And Luke writes, "Community of Peace is a special place. You can feel the peace and calmness as soon as you step on the property, filling you with happiness that lingers well after you leave. I truly hope you come here and allow yourself to experience a more peaceful world." Kaylin writes, "My experience has been absolutely wonderful. The rhythm of the place is comforting and restful, yet there are constant invitations to grow through gentle teachings and wisdom of Brother Stefan and the other community members. Visit them with a spirit of giving, and you will receive so much more." And Boots writes, "Life at Community of Peace is simple. You live with love. Though it is not simple everywhere, living a loving life here is made achievable by following the example laid out by Brother Stefan and the community members. Leaning into pure love, honoring the gifts each person brings, being available with all their wisdom, asking difficult questions, challenging growth while maintaining a safe space for vulnerability, and working hard to keep it all running as a commitment to one another, and the mission of connecting, understanding, and loving everyone, no matter their background, makes this sanctuary of peace an incredibly powerful and humble place." And Jean Marie, "I've stayed at Community of Peace on 3 different occasions for varying lengths of time and have loved every minute of my time there. The community is deeply welcoming and was quick to include me in meals, singing lessons, prayer sessions, and work in the garden. It's a rare experience in our world today to be surrounded by folks who are both loving and deeply invested in spiritual growth and change. There is something truly magical about this community, something that can't be gained from reading books or meditating on one's own, and something I haven't found in other intentional communities where I've lived in the past. Forever grateful to Brother Stefan, Tim, Barb, and Michael for taking me under their wings and making me feel at home and at peace." And Ephraim says, "My stay at Community of Peace was my first adventure in an intentional community. I had the opportunity to visit the community on my travels to the south. What I found here was a very inviting group of people who were dedicated to their vision of serving God and helping the world. My stay involved helping to build the community. I worked to build garden space. I showed the community how to build oyster mushroom bags. But more importantly, I learned how a community is maintained through discussions, mutual understanding, and compromise. I came to Community of Peace as a woofer, but I left as a friend. I look forward to my next visit. And there have been so many more like that. Most are printed in the newsletters, and back newsletters are on our website. Are there any thoughts, anything anybody wants to share?
I just hope they all know that we appreciate them and how valuable they were when they came here. I think they do, but yeah, I just hope that they do know.
Yes. Any other thoughts? We'll close with a song. And what page is that to?
42.
Page 42. Now is God's time for justice to flourish. Now is God's time for peace to prevail. Now is God's time for justice to flourish. Now is God's time for peace to prevail. Now is God's time for justice to flourish. Now is God's time for peace to prevail. Now is God's time for justice to flourish. Now is God's time for peace to prevail. Now is God's time for justice to flourish. Now is God's time for peace to prevail. Now is God's time for justice to flourish. Now is God's time for peace to prevail.
As we end this day together, we give thanks for the joy of sharing this adventure, friendship and love. And yes, ask you, our beloved, to Guide us always in our thoughts and words and actions to be yet more of your love better expressed in this world. Thank you. May it be so.